Hello everyone, and I'm gonna stop the ASMR. Welcome back to another tier ranking video. Today it's going to be a bit different in terms of the game that I'm ranking or covering. It's World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft was my very first MMO, other than Wizard 101. World of Warcraft was my first big boy MMO. So, I have very fond memories of WoW, and I have played every expansion. I started at Wrath, but of course I've gone back since and played the core game, and I played Burning Crusade. Granted, I didn't get that experience of being in it, and things have changed, especially with the Cataclysm. But for now, I'm going to be ranking the zones and the expansion zones, in modern day World of Warcraft, because I can. So let's jump right in to my ranking of World of Warcraft expansions. First and foremost, let me get hold for the emergency services. Go to sleep every night with those sounds. Reminds me of the Vietnam War. Welcome to this tier ranking. The grading scale for this tier is S, A, B, C, and D. Of course, expansions never really fail because they ship a product. You only really fail if you drop an expansion. But D would be below average. C is about the average. Like, it's passable. B, of course, is, it was okay. It was pretty enjoyable. A was like, you did good. And then S is like, this is what you should be doing every time, okay? Wow, the granola already is giving me gas. Okay, so of course we're going to start with the very first expansion, or not necessarily expansion, but I mean, I guess it could be like an expansion to the Warcraft game, but we're getting into semantics. First and foremost, we have Vanilla World of Warcraft. And in all honesty, I did not begin my journey playing Vanilla. I have not gone back for Classic. However, playing through the core zones, understanding the appeal and the hype core World of Warcraft has, it's conveying me to place it at high A or even S. A lot of people would probably put it at S tier, but because I don't have that personal draw to it, I'm going to just grade it at a high A. I'd say for World of Warcraft, for me, of course, this is an opinion piece, World of Warcraft is really fun, the base maps. And I understand that Cataclysm had changed them, but the core experience of World of Warcraft was always really fun. Because I did play the core maps before Cataclysm. I played during Wrath, so I did have some inkling of what it was like. It was always a world of wonder. It was a World of Warcraft, but it was a world of also wonder, mystery, fantasy. It was so much fun. The zones were really well developed. Each zone felt at least different, even if it was in the same region. They definitely had their own interests and their own originalities and nuances that made them fun and unique. So I'm going to place core World of Warcraft at A tier. Next, we have the Burning Crusade. Burning Crusade was the very first expansion for World of Warcraft. And many people would say that is when the peak of WoW was at Burning Crusade. Of course, people can debate peaks in terms of the general feel for the game. Of course, when you look at statistics and so on and so forth, you could have a more definitive reason if you're just looking at numbers. But for the experience of launching a product, the general vibe, the community draw, and the community's reaction to the product, that is where I typically like to meddle around with. I was never a math person, so I like the more debatable areas. But Burning Crusade, I have played through the Burning Crusade's maps because I have a little character through the Burning Crusade, and I always remember when I was younger going to the Dark Portal and going through it when I was like level 30 or 40. I was not ready, but I'd always just sit there and watch the NPCs fight the Burning Legion. I had so much fun doing that, and then every so often I'd like throw a frostbolt or a fireball to like fireball. I'm like, I'm from New York now, New Jersey, Long Island, but I've had great memories of the Burning Crusade, and playing through it was a lot of fun. The zones are also very distinct. When I say distinct, every zone different feel. Mostly due to its corruption and the destruction of the planet of Draenor. But you know what? I have a lot of fun playing through the maps. I have my windows open, of course. I live by a busy street. I have to feel like I explain that every single video. Anyway, so I'll place Burning Crusade at A, high A, maybe S tier. Wrath of the Lich King, my expansion. Okay, so I'm placing Wrath of the Lich King at S tier. I think Wrath of the Lich King was probably one of the best expansions to ever have been launched for not Guild Wars 2, oh my god, for World of Warcraft. I almost slipped back. But for World of Warcraft, I also play a lot of Guild Wars 2, that's why. But with World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King, I think the expansion had everything anybody could have asked for. It had a new class, which also altered the way races looked. It wasn't a new race per se. Oh, but to quickly mention, Burning Crusade did have 2 new races, which is great. But with Wrath of the Lich King, you had a new class. You had a new way to play. And you might not have had a new race, but you definitely had a different character. You're a human, but now you're a Death Knight human. You had that glow. You had a different aesthetic to you. You had a different presence, especially for the RPers. Don't even get me started on the role-playing potential. But you also had Northrend. You had Icecrown Citadel. You had all these great places that were are iconic now to the World of Warcraft. And for the community alert, I felt the most draw. That from, granted, I started at World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King, but I've never felt that since. I'm not sure what it felt like during Vanilla or Burning Crusade, but I have never felt such a mystery, allure, and I don't know, community presence as I did in Wrath of the Lich King. So that's probably why I'm placing it at S. Great expansion, raise the level cap, raids, dungeons, new class, new aesthetics to the existing classes, or not, to the existing races, and all in all, stellar. Great time. A lot of people playing, a lot of subs, good quality for the game, good quality content. And that was Wrath of the Lich King. Now for Cataclysm. Okay, so Cataclysm is a little interesting in terms of my placement, because I did fall off from Cataclysm. I played through Wrath, I played a bit of Cataclysm, and then I kind of dropped off. Mostly because I was, in like 5th or 6th grade? So I had other things going on, okay? But all in all, Cataclysm delivered. The choice to go back to the core vanilla maps was a stretch and was a choice. Maybe for the better or worse, you know, you could debate that. I personally think it was probably a good idea to at least give the new maps flavor, to revitalize the core world, the foundations of what players would play through. They did implement the Goblin and the Worgen. I love the Worgens. I love Worgens so much. No one can take that away from me. Granted, they had very wonky features, but they finally have updated those, which I need to actually play. I need to keep. I don't have a sub to WoW. I need more money. But World of Warcraft Cataclysm definitely delivered something. It was a bit weird at times. The community reaction was kind of like, it's fine. And especially for me, it didn't really capture me like World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King did. Some elements were good. Raids and dungeons, since I never really played the end game of that, I don't know how it felt, but I'm not sure people really liked the flying on the back of Deathwing and facing him. I don't know. I've heard things about it. It's been so muddy that I think it's safe to put it just at a passable tier. Is that okay, guys? Is that okay? This is an opinion piece, okay? So after Cataclysm, we have the Mists of Pandaria. Now, with Mists of Pandaria, people really did not like it. People were very opinionated by it. But you know what? I had a lot of fun in Mists of Pandaria. They had a new race and they had a new class. They had the Pandaren, and they introduced the Monks class with a DPS, a healing, and a tanking role. All three categories are cool. So on the player front for new play styles, I appreciated that. Now, here's the thing. I came into Mists of Pandaria late. I came into Mists of Pandaria the 0.3 patch. So the patch, the final era. I came at the curtain call. I did not play at the beginning, nor did I really play in the middle. So I came when everything was said and done. From what I heard, Mists of Pandaria had a rough start and had kind of a rough middle. However, it picked itself up with patch 5.2. I think it was 5.2. Fifth expansion? Yeah, 5.2, 5.3, something like that. And it picked itself up. And I think for that, I think it's worth to be above average. Like, it's okay. It's good. It delivered a good, solid product that kept people entertained. And it definitely kept me entertained. I did not play through the maps, because that was when we had the level boost. Which is probably the only reason I ended up playing a lot of raids. I played the shit out of raids. I did so many raids, so many dungeons. I had a blast with my guild, and I had a fantastic time. Oh my god, I really miss those days, like staying up late, going on Vent. You guys remember Ventrilo and TeamSpeak? Oh my god. Thank god we have Discord now, that's all I'm saying. But I have very fond memories, but disregarding my fond memories, I had a lot of fun with the content that they produced. So that's why I'm putting it at a B tier. Next, we have Warlords of Draenor. Okay, this is a very strange one. I'm putting Warlords of Draenor at a D tier. I am. I'm sorry. I have to. And I actually played so much Warlords of Draenor. I played a lot of WoD. I played a lot of Mists of Pandaria in a very short amount of time in its lifespan. I played a lot of it. And then I played mostly the entirety of Warlords of Draenor. Granted, I take like a break or two, like a couple weeks off or something. But I played a lot. And there was a world, but you never went out into it. There was no sense of exploration, really. And because the questing was so linear, and it very much like drug you along. There was no sense of exploration. There was no expansiveness that I really felt in WoDs. That's not necessarily a bad thing because it was a very effective story, but because you had the garrison, there was no reason for you to go out and like really do world quests or do anything of that sort, world bosses. So I had fun in WoD, but I don't think it was a good expansion in terms of the health of World of Warcraft. Okay, I think that's all I really have to say. The PvP was really bad too. Ashran. we're not even gonna talk about that. Next, we have Legion. So, as we've seen, we've had World of Warcraft starting to decline after Warlords of, not Warlords, but we've had World of Warcraft declining after Wrath of the Lich King. Then came Legion. S tier, S tier, S tier. I stopped playing Warlords of Draenor after the final raid came out. I played that, did that, got all my stuff, you know, chilled, and then I took a break because I was like, okay, well, it was the final. Then we had to wait, like, what, a year or so for the next thing to come out. It's a pretty long wait. It's also the droughts. But with Legion, oh my god. Oh my god. This was still the era, kind of, where people were hyping up games. And we, I think, had learned from Warlords of Draenor to be more cautious. Yes, we can get excited and hopeful, but I think people were a bit more cautious going into it. And I think that actually that was in Legion's favor, because it was being excitable, it was being hyped up. People were getting really enthused by what they saw. But I don't think they were like, yes, we're going back to orcs like Draenor. We were excited for Illidan, the Demon Hunters, and the Legion. And I'm happy to admit and to say that, in my opinion, they delivered on every front for the most part. I had a fantastic time in Legion. The Demon Hunter class was so much fun. I haven't even maxed out my Demon Hunter. I actually, whenever I got my sub back, I'm going to be playing my Demon Hunter. So, yeah, Legion, in my opinion, was in the S tier. Maybe not equivalent to Wrath of the Lich King, but it definitely brought people back. It got people excited. Your artifact weapons was a nice thing to keep you going. You had some grinding with accumulating the essence and the artifact power, and that con and that thing that players hated so much, for some reason, kept being implemented. I don't know why. Into the Azeroth stuff with the next expansion we'll be getting to, but I don't know why they decided to keep going with that front. It's kind of, I don't know. They were like, yeah, let's get people to keep grinding, and it's like, that's not what we really want to do. We want to, yes, have something to work for, but especially when you have a game like World of Warcraft where you can have so many alt characters, it's not really the best design, in my opinion. But Artifact was fun, despite some flaws. The raiding was fun. I had fun with the dungeons. PvP was really cool because you had the honor rank, and then you had PvP talents that you'd have to kind of build up. I felt like there was a bit more PvP fun. There was new arenas, and they were just really revitalizing Legion and World of Warcraft as a whole. And I had probably one of the best times with Legion. So, yeah, good job, Legion. And then finally we have Battle for Azeroth. I think Battle for Azeroth started strong, but as people began to play it, and as people began to hit endgame, and I don't know, yeah, hit endgame basically, the flaws started to kind of unravel. I enjoyed the questing. The questing was good. It's the standard that was set in Warlords of Draenor, continued in Legion, has been continued in Battle for Azeroth, and will be continued to be implemented in Shadowlands, I'm presuming. I haven't played Shadowlands. But it was good leveling. I had fun with the dungeons. The class changes and the class pruning had people upset, I guess, which is why they're correcting that in Shadowlands. But all in all, it was a nice experience leveling. I didn't really stick around for Battle for Azeroth. I'm gonna be real with you. We keeping it real here. I didn't stick around for Battle for Azeroth because I didn't really feel excited about it. I didn't feel engaged, connected. Didn't feel a sense of community. I didn't really find a community either, so that could have been my problem as well. But something didn't click with me with Battle for Azeroth necessarily. The idea of faction clash was really cool, but then they implemented it in strange ways. They had a PvE thing that seemed like it should have been PvP, but it wasn't. It was a player versus environment thing. Sylvanas becoming the next Garrosh, it was all a little that being continued in Shadowlands too. We're gonna have to see where that goes. But Sylvanas has become the villain. And it was a bit strange going from like we're fighting the Burning Legion to Sargeras. Everyone knew it was a bad enemy because it wasn't based on faction stuff. And I guess they've made the Horde bad. And I guess it's like a trope. If you're a Horde player, the Horde isn't necessarily bad. They just value different things than the Alliance. So it's kind of like, oh, you're kind of messing with me. But overall, I think it was kind of like Mists. They had good points. It was a little rocky, but overall, they had a good product. It got some people engaged, some people had fun with it. I had some fun with it, though I kind of jumped off. And, yeah. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for watching that tier ranking video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was an opinion piece, so I would love to hear what you guys have to say about how I ranked them, how you would rank them, so on and so forth. Like the video if you liked it, comment down below your thoughts, of course. Subscribe for more Guild Wars 2, World of Warcraft, MMO videos in general. I cover a couple games. And, if you'd like to help out, I have a PayPal down below, or a Patreon. Speaking of Patreon, here are all my patrons. You guys are cool. Da-da-da-da-da. Thank you for being a patron. And, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay awesome, everyone. Stay safe. Bye, everyone.